comes up when we have the conversation on black males in particular putting on the dress in Hollywood to gain success. 99.9% of the time met with criticism on this platform. Brandon T. Jackson, somebody that put on a dress, we don't often get to hear somebody's perspective, but we've heard his.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's your thoughts on that, man?
It seems like, you know, one thing that stood out to what he said, it was like, you know, when he said that Katt Williams, you know, told him not to put on the dress, he said he thought he was heckling him.
First came into the business, you mentioned the dress. There's a big conversation about that. Did you get like slack when you wore the dress at that moment?
It was like, wasn't slack from people. Only Katt Williams. Katt Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress. You know,
he called you, or is this?
No, he was saying it in the media, so I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I was immature.
Right.
I feel like, dang, why I'm trying to make it. Why you bashing me? And then he was trying to warn me, you know, don't get in the dress. So the awakened Brandon, you couldn't pay him $1 trillion to get in the dress.
Yeah.
You know, when he said that Katt Williams, you know, told him not to put on the dress, he said he thought he was heckling him, but he didn't understand at the time. And he said, look, I'm trying to, you know, just make it. You look at the list of all the black actors, celebrities. You got Sean and Marlon Wayans, you know, Miguel Nunez, Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx. Go down the list. Arsenio Hall, Tyler Perry.
Yep.
You see, like, yo, it got to be something, you know, I think more bigger, sinister, you know, plot here, almost like a ritual to make all of these, you know, black actors put on this dress. So, like, they feel like they have to do this to make it. It seems like that's the statement that stood out to me the most. And I like the fact that he came out and said, look, this was like a downtime. I should have never done this. So he's regretful. And, you know, I'm sure like Martin and Jamie Foxx probably won't. Their careers have went to, you know, lengths, you know, higher than they could ever go. But I just don't like the fact that these has to be, when they do this, first of all, they shouldn't be doing it, in my opinion. It has to be like a career defining moment for them, man. I think it's a lot to this. A lot of, you know, we were just talking about a few years ago how that whole Illuminati conspiracy thing came out. I think some of it was true. And I think this part is true. I think it's not only for, you know, demasculation, you know, of the black male image, you know, but also, you know, just to, you know, kind of, you know, see, image means a lot, man. Image is everything. You think about coming up and all the images that we've ever seen, white images, superheroes, different things, people saving the world. When you turn on your TV, now we got to see black men put on dresses. Most of the sitcoms you watch coming up, Martin, you know what I mean, Jamie Foxx, like all the people that we looked up to, it's like, all right, you can't really be a masculine black male and be in your masculine frame. You got to be willing to put on a damn dress and act like a woman. I don't like it, man. And I think that it's a lot more to this to hear him say that.
You said a lot of stuff that we hear Illuminati driven, especially in movies. Some of it we got to take with a grain of salt, but some of it we got to go, yo, there's some real validity to that. I was sitting here looking at his facial expressions and things like that as we were listening, and that's 100% where he wanted to go. You could see it. Right. When you think about the movies, he did Big Mama's House in 2011. He did Lottery Ticket, Tropic Thunder, where he played a homosexual in that, and he goes in on that as well. Percy Jackson, Roll Bounce, Percy Jackson, Get a Job, Thunderstruck, Tooth Fairy, Fast and Furious. He's done a lot of movies.
Right.
He's an accredited actor, but we haven't really seen him. He's kind of fell off the radar, almost forgotten about. And it seems like Hollywood did him very dirty in a lot of dirty ways. And he wants to go there, and he may start going there. He may even be looked at as crazy, because I don't want to say he was blackballed from Hollywood, but we haven't seen him in a while. And usually when we don't see an actor in a while, that usually means one or two things. In regards to the dress, I'm glad that he gave that perspective, because as I think back, oftentimes it was involving money that you would see. I think Martin was asked a question about Big Mama's House, and he referenced the check, and then Dave Chappelle, but he never threw on the dress. He talked about the dress, but when have you ever heard anybody that had the dress on not or talk about it? It's almost as if it's a code of silence not to talk about the dress and not to talk about the situation. So for him to give us perspective, I really appreciate. And then you look at a Katt Williams, someone who is was rumored to be blackballed from Hollywood, and you can believe that because he wouldn't conform to a lot of the demands that Hollywood brings, in particular to black actors. He wasn't with that. And then he made a lot of mistakes and little mistakes himself. But him schooling him and trying to just be that mentor. Oftentimes when somebody bothers us, especially when we're young and they give us something we don't want to hear, we look at it as hate, or we look at it as, nah, this dude is just, you know what I mean, doing whatever. But it often is the thing that we needed to hear, and the thing that we could look back on and go, damn, I wish I'd have listened to that dude. So shout out to Katt Williams, because I'm sure he's not the only one, Brandon T. Jackson, that Katt Williams has done that for or to. And what would you now, at being, now, we can sit here at 35, 33, 34 years old and go, hell no, not $4 million you won't put on the dress. 100% agree. At your 21, 22-year-old, could you ever see yourself doing this?
See, it's a little, the thing is, no, but the thing is, these guys are put into a position, I think, where they feel like maybe that's maybe that role is going to pay more. Maybe they feel like if I don't do this role, I might not be able to make it where I'm going. No different, you know, it's kind of hard to give an example of that, but something that you may, you know, you might get a promotion on a job, you want to go to the next level. You may not feel comfortable with doing something they want you to do. You say, you know what, I'm gonna suck it up and do it because I can go to the next level. I think it's that, but also I think that, you know, you got to man up and say, look, I'm not, you know, willing to sell my people out, sell out and contribute to the emasculation of the black male image, you know, by, you know, putting on a dress. And that's just one aspect of it, because even like the movies that we were pretty much subject to, you know, like you will see, you know, the black male always portrayed as a monster, always portrayed as a thug, a gangster. You rarely see those movies where they're stand-up men, lawyers, doctors doing something great. Now you got them sprinkled in a little bit now, but you rarely saw those in the 90s and in the 80s when we were coming up. You know what I'm saying? So Hollywood, you know, then you, on the flip side of that, you see that Hollywood, a lot of people, including Tyler Perry, Hollywood ain't really want to fuck with him like that. So it's just like, what's the agenda here? But it doesn't surprise me when you see the people that are in charge, that run these film companies, that own them. It doesn't surprise me that they wouldn't have, you know, they're going to continue to perpetuate what this country has been perpetuating for the last 400 or 500 years. I don't see them doing anything different, man.
And you know what's crazy? I was just thinking, because what was it? Maybe a couple of days ago, it was the 20th anniversary. Oh God, I know you're going to like this, of The Best Man. 20 years it's been since The Best Man was released in theaters. This was 1998, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's why, even though that was a love story, and when we was obviously strong heterosexual boys running around trying to do whatever we were doing, we resonated with those types of movies because it was positive male images. It was positive black on black relationships, and just, even though it was drama, it was still positive. And we resonated with those kind of movies just as well as the other ones. So salute to those movies and those pieces in place. And we need to see more of that as well. And I'm glad that he's speaking out about the dress. I'm glad that the conversation is being brought up so we can give some better perspective to the actors going into it, that just, look, you got to stand by your morals. You don't got to run to every check. You don't got to run to every situation that they try to throw you in, because you got to look at the overall agenda. Understanding of self is very important, because a lot of people that probably walk into that dress don't understand the significance that's going to go behind it right off the jump until it's too late. So just understand, have understanding of self. If you don't have understanding of self, try to get it as best you can before you walk into situations where you could potentially compromise that.
Right.
I mean,
definitely, man. Excellent. You know, well said. Definitely appreciate, you know, Brandon T. Jackson. You know, if he hears this, you know, you want to, you know, come and speak about it. The platform is definitely open
all day.
That'll be, you know, dope. But you have that tank story up.